Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCA Extra. Starting a few minutes late today. Just wanted to, today we're talking about grandparent scams. Some we've reported on, earlier this week, and I think we have definitely in the past as well. And these can really creep up on some older people and loved ones, and get some money to some bad actors out there. So let's loop in our Claire Jones. She just did the story yesterday on this. Talked to the Attorney General's office. First of all, Claire, thanks for hopping on today.
Yeah, good morning, John. That's right. We did speak. Actually, our Kat Villianzoni spoke with the Attorney General's office pretty much about this as well. And then I spoke with the AARP, a representative with them yesterday, the state director for the Vermont AARP, actually. And yes, they both acknowledged that while people are becoming more knowledgeable, a lot of people are learning the signs, people are understanding how these scams work, but obviously with technology constantly evolving and with just coming up with new creative ways to scam people, really, these scammers, these criminals really are able to still get millions and millions of dollars a year. And the state attorney general's office said that even last year they received dozens of calls, even just for this grandparent scam.
So how does this work? Am I getting a text? Am I getting a call? And kind of just run me through either the warning signs, how to discern either what is a scam and what is real.
Well, it can be tricky because there are a ton of different scams, like this grandparent scam. They were particularly targeting people in our older parts of our generation who may have grandkids or likely have grandkids. And so it was a group up and around the Montreal area calling Vermonters and also people across the country who they believed could have grandkids. They would call them up and say, hey, it's your grandchild. I'm in trouble. I just got into a car crash. I need bail money. And that is one thing that both the state or the Attorney General's office and the AARP pointed out, is that a lot of these scams, they work with your emotions. They are trying to get you in a heightened emotional state, such as fear. You get a call from somebody you believed is a loved one who is saying, I'm in trouble, I need money, I need you to help me. And the first thing you want to do, the very instinctual human reaction, is to help them out. You want to make sure your loved ones are okay. And so they get you into these frenzied states of panic, heightened emotion, and there's a sense of urgency. You need to send this money now. I need help now. Yeah. And so what you really should do in those situations is maybe take a step back, take a deep breath, and think, okay, if you are getting this call or you are concerned that maybe it is your grandchild on the other end of the line, take a deep breath and say, okay, where is my grandchild right now? How would you find out where your grandchild is without inherently entrusting the person on the other end of the line? Obviously don't click on any links that you don't know where they are from, but really keeping an eye out for those calls where they do tell you, even if it's positive, you just want a car, you just want a trip. Any call that you get where they really try to get you in a heightened emotional state, such as fear or excitement, take a step back and think if it is real.
Yeah, and I think these scams, especially, we do our fair share of reporting on these, and I think it's always good to have just a refresher to say, hey, one of two things: if it is one of those heightened emotions, or something really is just too good to be true, it probably isn't. So. But yeah, I think it's great to again just kind of give a refresher as far as these goes.
Absolutely.
There's one rule of thought where some people will be like, oh, we've heard this before, but that is not a lot of money. So.
And one big thing is that when these scams happen, when people do fall for them, when you do become a victim of a scam, because so many of us understand, this is how you can recognize them, or you look back and you say, why didn't I realize that? The biggest thing is to not be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. You should go ahead and report it. If you do become a victim of a scam, don't just sweep it under the rug. Really step up and report it to the Attorney General's office. Report it to the AARP's Fraud Watch so that they know what scam you were fallen victim to, and then they can start up an investigation.
Yeah.
And they say the chances of you getting your money back after falling victim to a scam, it really is up in the air. It can be very slim, unfortunately, but reporting these scams when they happen will help investigators and researchers figure out how more people can avoid that happening to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to kind of shrink that circle as far as people getting into some vulnerable information there. But Claire, thanks so much for hopping on. We'll air this in just a sec, but I appreciate you coming on and just shedding some light.
Thank you, John.
Awesome. Have a good one. That was our Claire Jones there talking about these grandparent scams that we've been talking about I think the last couple of days, end of last week, beginning of this week. But yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for, especially if you get some concerning phone calls, texts, and anything else like that. So we'll pop this up right now.
Underreported crime.
An underreported crime that affects countless Americans a year, and scams get savvier all the time.
These have morphed and developed and become more sophisticated, incredibly more sophisticated over time as technology has developed.
Tuesday, the Vermont U.S. Attorney's Office announced they charged 25 Canadians in connection with a multi-million-dollar scam.
If you're not working in conjunction with law enforcement in another country, which doesn't always happen like it does with our Canadian counterparts, it's almost impossible to catch these folks.
They're accused of doing grandparent scams, stealing more than $21 million from senior citizens around the country by calling them and pretending to be a grandchild in trouble and in need of money.
It tugs at a very powerful human emotion, which is fear. A grandparent's first reaction is, I'm going to help my grandchild, right? They're in distress, they're in trouble, and I'm going to help them.
But experts say in those moments, take a deep breath and think before taking action.
You're in your emotions. Someone is trying to get your money. You can't confirm they are who they say they are, like they're on the phone. And there's a sense of urgency. That is likely a scam. If they're asking you to pay in gift cards, cryptocurrency, I need to know nothing more. It's a scam.
Vermont Attorney General Charity Clark says even though more people are aware of grandparent scams now, her office still got 36 complaints last year and suggests families have a code word that will allow them to identify whether the person on the other end of the phone is who they say they are. And if you do fall for a scam, the AARP urges you to say something right away.
There is no shame here. If you report the crime, that helps an investigation start and helps us understand how much is really happening in our state.
Experts say if you do fall victim to a scam, you are more likely to be scammed again because these criminals often sell their victims' information to other scammers. We'll have more information on how to report scams and spot them on our website, WCAX.com. Live in the studio, Claire Jones, Channel 3 News.
Some good reporting there by Claire as far as these scams go. Definitely want to keep an eye out. If you get them, I get the Easy Pass ones all the time. As of late, I've been getting them probably the last few weeks.
And that's something that I've heard is going on across the country. Not just like Easy Pass, but you know how there's different, toll systems all around the country. But same scam.
It is funny because sometimes it look little. Some are much more legit. Look more legit than others. But I got one from an iCloud account most recently, and then the link will be like btz.jfk. It's gibberish,
insane.
So definitely want to keep an eye out for that. But Peter, I think the big thing today, we talked this morning. It's a warmer day out. And we had some weather news this morning as far as the river levels
go
and some flooding. So what's the update now?
Yeah, so we did have a ice jam earlier this morning. Wanted to show you this. This is the actually the hydrograph for the Mad River near Moortown. Really noticed that quick spike in the water level there between about midnight and onward here through the early morning hours. A good indication that there was an ice jam there present, but as quick as it went up, it came right back down. So that's good news. It did rise in a minor flood stage, but is now falling at this point. This is what we're going to have to be watching, though, through the rest of the day today, really. We're going to continue to keep an eye on the potential ice jams, basically anywhere and everywhere. We do still have a flood warning up in place there for the Mad River near Moortown, that running until 11:15 this morning. Otherwise, though, still hanging on to a few leftover rain showers, but there is also a little bit of patchy sunshine out there. I think a lot of us are going to find a good amount of dry time here through the afternoon hours today, followed by a few more snow showers as we head towards later this evening and tonight. More on that in just a second. Notice to the east of the Green Mountains, still quite foggy out there. Visibility down to half a mile for Montpelier, St. Jay. Got a mile for Lebanon, 3/10 of a mile for Keene. We were all pretty foggy here to start off the day today. That fog should gradually begin to diminish here into the rest of the afternoon hours. Temperatures still very mild, but what I will say is they are coming down actually as we speak. Earlier this morning when I came into work, Bennington was sitting at 50 degrees. Now they're down to 44, 35 for Saranac Lake, 37 for Messina. That's kind of foreshadowing what we're going to all see as we head towards this afternoon, this evening, tonight. We're all falling back into the 30s, and by the time tomorrow morning rolls around, most of us are into the teens and 20s. So notice the temperatures falling here later this evening and tonight. That means the moisture that we see arriving here later tonight actually transitions over to snow showers here for the night ahead. Here's how the day shapes up on Futurecast. Maybe a few leftover spotty rain showers here from time to time, especially through the first half of the day today. Otherwise, though, I think a lot of us find dry time into the early and mid-afternoon hours. By the time we get to this evening, you can see a few snow showers out across New York's North Country. Those gradually advancing eastward here into the overnight hours tonight. Could wake up tomorrow morning to a few snow showers. I generally think the snow showers are going to be confined to the higher elevations as we head into Friday afternoon as well as Friday evening, but we could all see a little bit of minor snow accumulation tonight as well as into the first part of the day tomorrow. How much are we talking? A trace, maybe up to an inch or two for a lot of locations. However, the higher elevations above the Adirondacks as well as the northern spine, the Green Mountains in particular, could maybe run an additional 2 to 4 plus here in that same time frame. Keep in mind that we're also getting colder, so any of that standing water on some of those roadways could have the potential to freeze up here through the night ahead. So maybe some slick travel here tomorrow morning, something that we're going to be watching here for tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we're also going to be talking about gusty winds at times picking up here through the day today. A few gusts later this afternoon and evening, potentially upwards of 20 to 30 miles per hour. Notice as we head towards tomorrow, though, in particular, right along the eastern slope of the Green Mountains, a few gusts potentially upwards of 30, 40, maybe even 50 miles per hour right along the eastern slope of the mountain range there before the winds start to diminish and back off as we head towards late Friday and into the early morning hours on Saturday. Now look at that 7-day forecast. We're left quieter, still chillier here for the weekend. Temperatures in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s for both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a few snow showers Monday, but then we start to warm things back up once again for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. A bit more sunshine and temperatures back into the low and mid 40s.
Yeah, Peter, I think I'm getting used to the 40s at this point.
I know.
I did buy a new pair of running shoes, though, this week. Just stepped in the biggest puddle
I was
ever
going to say,
yesterday.
Did you break them out already? Because
Oh, yeah. Well, I broke them in, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think, I think for people like us, get up in the morning, clearing off the cars, not doing that anymore.
Yeah, we might be doing it, though, a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Peter.
Yep.
And thank you guys for watching WCAX. Of course, you can see Peter in a couple hours, our evening shows, and all of our content on WCAX.com. With that in mind, we'll let you go.